Over the last 12 months, we have seen the concept of clienteling in retail has evolved. Previously, the idea was connected with the store associate providing white glove service to a retailer's best customers. But technology has allowed everyone to enjoy exceptional shopping experiences, whether that's in the store or even at home. In this video, Piers Fawkes and Adam Levine of the technology company Hero will walk through how Levi's is creating virtual shopping experiences that connects the shopper to the associate for rich and valuable sales experiences.
So hello, I'm here with Adam Levine. Adam is the founder of Hero, a virtual shopping platform. We're going to talk about how his platform works and how he's applied it to Levi's and the shopping experience there. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Piers. Good to see you as always.
So, Adam, can you possibly just tell us a little bit about kind of the strategy and the kind of vision?
Yeah, for sure. Why don't I step back slightly and share, really the reason why Hero got started as a business, and then we'll come on to Levi. So we got started 2017 to really solve a specific problem for shopping online. When you're shopping online, you're really lacking the two things that make in-store shopping so brilliant. When you shop online, one, you can't really see the product up close. You want to touch, see, and feel it, and you can't. But of course, when you do that in store, you really can. You can see the merchandise, you can get a feel for the product. But online, you're really stuck with kind of static photos and often rather boring text description of the product. The second challenge you have when you shop online as a consumer is I want to be able to ask someone. I want to be able to ask someone like I would do in a store, where I could ask an associate for help around size or fit, or I may want to know about availability, or I want to get some recommendations. And that's always been traditionally so hard to do online. When I shop online, I'm often left to my own devices. There may be a bot, or I may be able to speak to someone in the customer service center, but it's not the most exciting experience. They can't often help you pre-purchase. So really, this is the problem we set out to solve for customers across the world, and specifically with Levi's as a global brand. They have some of the best stores in the world, as you'd expect, and some of the best locations in the world. And our partnership is very global. So we're live with Levi's in their stores across Australia, across Canada, across the US as well. So some really key markets. And specifically what Hero does is connect you as a shopper when you're online and you need that help, advice, inspiration, help around size or fit, as I mentioned. We connect you usually within sub 10 seconds live with an expert associate, often in the store nearest to you. And then through chat, through video call, you're able to have that same one-to-one experience you would have as if you were shopping in person in the physical store. And so that's what we're going to show you today. We'll kind of take you through a demo experience. There's really two sides to Hero. You've got what the shopper sees. So I'm going to show you that, and that's on the right-hand side of my screen. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see the store associate experience. And essentially the store associates at Levi's are now armed with the Hero app, either running on an iPhone or an Android or an iPad device, whatever device they're using in the physical store. I'm going to show you essentially two sides, how the one-to-one connection happens. And really, it's all with a view to help that shopper get more confidence to buy. So they add it to their cart, or they feel that they can then head into store. And then vice versa for the sales associate, they get the credit for the online sales that they make. And I'll show you how that works also. So why don't I jump into the demo? Cool. So on the right-hand side of the screen, let's start with the shopper experience. So I'm browsing Levi's.com here, and we've essentially recreated the experience here that a real shopper would have when they're on Levi's.com. And Hero essentially sits on the bottom right when you're browsing this product page, where traditionally, as I say, you'd be able to browse the static photos, or I could look at some of the text description. What you see is Hero in the bottom right, which I can tap into, and you see instantly that you're going to be connected live with an in-store expert. So as I say, not a customer service bot or someone in the customer service team, but actually someone in store. So there's often that magic moment for the shopper when they realize they're actually connecting to a real human and not a bot. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got a pre-written questionnaire. So I'm going to say, hi, I'm looking to buy some skinny jeans for my partner for her birthday. Would love some recommendations. And I'm going to throw my name in here, Piers. And you'll see on the associate side, I've now got a countdown, and I can go ahead, claim this chat, and to have got to this point, I've had to set myself to available. So on a Saturday morning, I may be unavailable. It might be really busy in the store. But on a Wednesday afternoon, think about like all of that downtime that exists where now I can go available, I can open up the app, and suddenly I'm now connected to Piers. And so I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to introduce myself and say, hi, I'm Adam, and we're using our little canned greetings here. I get a nice little nudge reminding me that the best way to boost my sales is to send product cards. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that in a moment. But let me just close that. I can say I'm a stylist in store, and this is our Levi's USA demo. And then I can go ahead and say something a little bit more personalized. I'm just going to paste what I pre-wrote, if that's appearing. No, it's not appearing. But I can say, of course, let me share some of my favorites. So this is super conversational, not particularly scripted. This is really allowing store associates to be themselves the same way they would be in the store. At this point, I can see a few things about Piers. I can see where Piers is. So Piers, you're now in your imaginary location of Haywards Heath back in Great Britain, the very glamorous location. I can see you're online, but importantly, I can see all of the products you've actually viewed beforehand. So I get this little carousel where I'll be able to see any single item you've actually viewed in real time. And this gives me an opportunity to make the interaction really warm. There's no point in me recommending things you've already seen. So it's the equivalent almost of walking up to that store associate in person going, hey, I'm looking at these 1 or 2 items, can you help? And so at this point, I could go ahead, I can share some photos, I can share some videos, because of course I'm on an iPhone as a store associate, so I can go ahead and, really visualize the merchandise, or I can share these product cards, which is really a really great way to recommend items. So I'm going to show some items here. I'm going to recommend the 711 skinny jeans. I'm also going to go ahead and recommend the 501 stretch skinny jeans. I can see my selection and I can send. And what we've got here is really every single SKU that's available on the website. And that means now I can go ahead and as a shopper on the right-hand side, who's just received these very visual product recommendations, I can go ahead, I can go off to that product page. I can keep shopping. I can keep browsing. The conversation will rebuild if I don't have such slow Wi-Fi. And I can actually follow along as the associate to see that Piers has now clicked on to that recommendation. So again, I can really follow along exactly what you're shopping for. I can arrange to meet you in person if I wanted to. If you were near the store and perhaps you were near our Soho location, I can actually invite you in. I can send you one of these really nice product cards invite cards where I can share the location where you can actually head to. We can even arrange a time to meet. So this is a great way to not only drive online sales, but actually drive foot traffic into store. And then at this point, I actually want to demonstrate the video aspect. So it's not just messaging based conversations. We have two-way video calling. So just like we're doing now over tools like Zoom, that can actually now happen on the merchant site without them shopper needing to go off to Zoom or Hangouts to do it. So it's always initiated by the store associate. So I can now tap this button in the top right where you see the video calling functionality. I'm going to call you. Are you sure you want to call Piers? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hit call. It's going to be a slightly awkward experience because you're going to see me twice. So I'm just going to go ahead and mute myself on both sides. Just going to mute myself on both heroes. So if this was me in the real Levi store in Soho, this would be far more exciting than me in my slightly strange looking cottage behind me. But here you can imagine this two-way video experience where I could show you the merchandise, I can show you and visualize everything up close and really give you that IRL, that in real life experience as if you were in the store with me. So I'm going to go ahead and just end this call.
That's great. So what's happened there is possibly the associate has shown you a picture and then actually walked over to a rack and actually shown the product in real life or something.
You got it, Piers. You got it. Like, think about how you showcase things on the mannequin, how you compared new collections. Like, this is how this is really being used. And of course, it's always against the backdrop of these beautiful Levi stores where they've really invested in the look and feel. So it's pretty amazing when you have these experiences. And again, you have that real magic moment as a shopper where you're like, wow, I'm actually speaking to a real human. They're now showing me the product up close, and they can show me the materials, they can show me the garment, and I don't have to go anywhere to do it. I'm just still browsing levis.com. I don't have to go off to Zoom or Hangout. I haven't had to leave my details to arrange some kind of personal consultation in 7 days' time. Like, it's all happening live and on the site as I'm shopping right now in real time.
Tell me a little bit. I think the term for this type of shopping or this experience is clienteling or clienteling. How do you describe it, and why is it important to retail right now? Why is it such important?
Yeah. We think about it as virtual shopping or virtual consultations in real time, and this is so important. And if you think about what's happened, especially during the pandemic, the last 12, 18 months, e-commerce traffic has absolutely surged. And so you've got all of these shoppers who are on levis.com. And traditionally for Levi's and just about every brand online, still 99% of shoppers hit the website and don't buy something. And so why don't they buy something? And as I say, to my earlier points, it's often because they want to touch, see, and feel the product, and they can't. Or second, they want to ask someone for advice. And often it's just around size or fit or recommendations. It could be something quite specific. And these 1 or 2 minute interactions give you that confidence and then just add that item straight to my cart and buy. So this is super important in a world where you have to just convert more shoppers. And then from the sales associate perspective, this suddenly makes stores and store associates and employees part of the digital age. Suddenly they're like fast forwarded into e-commerce. It like slap bang in it. They're in the core of e-commerce as opposed to being left behind in the physical store, waiting for customers to come in. And so this ability to open up Hero, go available, and connect with all of these new customers you perhaps wouldn't have met in person is super powerful. And actually, if I want to stay in touch, just to touch on your point on clienteling, we actually have that capability built into Hero. So what we saw in the first couple of years of Hero is we'd have these great one-to-one interactions. The shopper would leave the website and there was no way for that associate to stay in touch. And so at this point, I can actually invite you, Piers, to stay in touch with me. And I'll just go ahead and do that. So I've just invited you, one touch, and you can now leave your cell phone. You can actually leave your email address as well if you wanted to. You can leave your WhatsApp number. And if we've had a really good consultation or really good experience, you can just choose to leave your details, and then we can text or we can email. You could have left the site and you can now be having that very one-to-one experience. And if on the left of the screen, I just bring this conversation to an end, I can actually go ahead. I'm just going to answer a couple of things here. I'm just going to go ahead over to contacts, which is the functionality over here. So obviously you didn't go ahead and add yourself, Piers, but you have left me a nice 5-star rating. You said I went above and beyond. Thank you very much for the lovely positive rating. But on the left now, I can actually see my previous contact list. So if you had chose to be added, you would appear in my contact list now, Piers, but you didn't go ahead and leave your cell phone number. But I've got a previous customer here, Katie, who were recently added. So I'm going to go in and say hello. And I can now see my previous conversation if we connected online, but Katie and I actually connected in person. So I can now go ahead and I can say, hi, Katie, just letting you know the new 501 collection is in store. So I can send that. I can share some product recommendations again. Maybe I want to share these ones. And so I can now go ahead and use Hero not only to meet new customers, but actually to stay in touch with existing customers I've met online or in person. For the associate, all of this is so key because they can now drive sales. They drive their own individual earnings, which is what you see on the home screen of the app for the associates, where they choose to go available. That just underneath, you can see essentially how many customers they've spoken with, their sales for the month. So I'm not doing so well right now, $0 in sales. I wouldn't make it as a great Levi's associate. They're much better than I am. But this is a great way for me to be able to track in real time how I'm performing, how many online sales I'm making.
That's super interesting. There's a couple of implications for the staff, practically in terms of training, availability, and things like that. I'm sure it's just not as simple as plug and play. What other practical steps as a retailer had to think through when they kind of implement a kind of virtual shopping system like this?
Yeah, yes. So the first bit is, of course, technology, right? You've got to make it super simple for every retailer, Levi's included, to get started and go live. And Levi's actually went live within 10 days of signing their contract with Hero. And that wasn't 10 days of technical effort, but for an organization that's global like Levi's, that was a pretty record time to launch a brand new initiative. And I think it speaks to one, the ease of technical integration. And this is really, JavaScript that lives on their website, and associates download the app from the App Store and create their own profile and log in with their unique code. But actually, as you say, it's the training piece that's most important. How do you empower sales associates and train them to understand how to sell digitally? But the good thing is, so many of these associates are so tech savvy. They're used to Instagram, they're used to Messenger, they're used to WhatsApp, they're used to, in other markets in APAC like WeChat and Line, like they're used to interacting in that way, either with friends and family, or maybe even using those channels almost unofficially for work. And now with Hero, we make it super simple for them to do. So they open up the app, they create their profile, they actually self-train in the app. So we actually have a training academy in the app where they can have like a dummy conversation, a dummy interaction with a bot that allows them to kind of mimic the experience. So they're never just kind of thrown into meeting a customer without having tried out all of the features. And it's so intuitive. If they know how to use Messenger or WhatsApp, as I say, they know how to use Hero. It's about messaging, it's about sending photos and videos, it's video calling. There's not a huge training uplift here. What we do see is like the best in class, like master classes, like what's the art of digital selling? How do you really style a customer digitally? How do you really get to understand with the customer's needs? And some of the features I showed that allows the associate to track what the shopper is viewing in real time, like that really helps make that a really warm interaction. So yeah, it's super simple for associates to get started, to go live, and it's really been key to our success.
10 days sounds amazing, especially with such a large corporation, a global corporation such as Levi's. So congratulations on that. In terms of roadmap, I mean, you showed me what seems to be a very sophisticated tool. You had to think about a lot of different aspects, and then bring that functionality in the complex functionality in and present it in a simple way. Where does kind of virtual shopping go from here, especially when it involves store associates? What sort of things should we look out for in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, Piers, we're now in this unique position where we've got thousands and thousands of store associates across the world working for some amazing brands, not just Levi's, but Herman Miller and Nike and other brands across the world. So it's a really unique advantage I think we have now to help those associates sell more in new ways. And I think the same way we've pioneered this kind of one-to-one virtual shopping, we're now doing more in the one-to-many space. So if you think what that looks like, where if you take like Instagram stories, but you design that for selling on e-commerce, that's where we go next. And so we announced a feature we put into beta with a handful of our partners at the end of last year. And what that means is the experience you're seeing in the bottom right, where traditionally you would go straight into a chat view, you'd actually now be able to open up Hero. But the first thing you'll see are short shoppable video stories that have been created by those store associates in the store. And so you can watch those videos, even if you have no desire or need right now to have that kind of one-to-one experience. Maybe it's more for discovery of products, as opposed to when you have a question about the product. You could actually watch these short 15-second videos, you can shop them. And again, that's a whole new way for store associates to earn. And that means they can actually earn in their sleep, because they could create a video 9 a.m. Monday morning, and that video could be watched thousands of times on levis.com or on the brand's website. And it's a really key way that their videos that they're creating essentially become shoppable. And you think about that starts to go in the future, not just stories, but actually longer form live video as well. Like there's so many areas this will emerge and evolve into. So we're really excited by this space. I think customers want that IRL experience when they shop online. So that's the new ways in which we're inventing to be able to deliver on that promise.
That's very interesting. Think about that sort of Peloton type strategy with the talent. Yeah.
That's it. stores are the new studios, and associates are the new creators. That's what we think about a lot internally. And so I think it's designing tools that really put those associates and any brand ambassador actually like front and center of the brand. Like that's really, you know, people buy from people, and you know, shoppers want that very human interaction that gives them the comfort to buy. They don't just want to be greeted by the same content, the same experience that every other shopper has. They want it to feel personalized. They want to go a level deeper. And I think technologies like this really, you know, allows brands to deliver on that very personal promise.
Well, Adam Levine, founder of Hero, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Piers, as always. Thanks for having us on.